Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So this is interesting bit of news that I absolutely did not see coming, and it's kind of funny, slightly frustrating, but overall also makes sense, I suppose. And now we are going with Hello Summoners. We are happy to announce that champ rarity restrictions have been removed from Act 6 and 7 content. The intentionality behind this is to allow Ascension to feel more impactful in the current state of the game. Thus, if you want to send your favorite 4-star champions and roster them to help you through this difficult content, do it. Have fun, summoners. And now here we go. I don't know what to say about this. This was such a huge pain point when Act 6 initially came out. It was like a massive problem because people didn't have many good 5-stars. There weren't many great champions to begin with, and Act 6 was such a pain in the ass back in the day. Because keep in mind, Act 6 has been nerfed like God knows how many times. And a level of difficulty in Act 6 often came from, champion and rarity gates, where you needed like 4 mutant champions, and you barely had 4 mutants that qualified as 5-stars or something. And you just couldn't use them. Not to even mention that there were a ton of fights where you needed to rely on specific synergies, like, Hela and Angela to gain that fury for Sinister boss, and so on and so forth. And, that made a lot of fights quite virtually undoable to people. So it was like a massive deal. And now, years later, for it to just go away like that. And again, don't get me wrong, it is a good thing that they changed it. It is. Like, objectively, any new players that are going to be playing the game will have easier time with the story content. Although I do believe that you can, start a conversation with how much easier is easier, because again, Act 6 has been nerfed like 4 times. And, rarity gates have been taken away and whatnot. And now they can bring in 4-stars. So this will definitely make new account challenges a lot easier, whoever is going to be doing them, because, again, currently, the key point for these new account challenges was to actually get some 5 and 6 stars that are more or less decent, so you can actually go in Act 6. But now if you can bring in synergies and you can bring in ascended 4-star champions, that'll obviously be significantly easier and quicker for new and especially kind of like returning or new experienced players who are using their alt accounts to go through it. And obviously, again, new players will definitely have an easier time, especially because in Act 6.1 and 6.2, the health pools aren't big. It's always about the nodes and having the right champion. So it kind of, caught me off guard. I definitely did not expect to see this. And again, it is a good change. It really is. It's just making me a bit salty. Remembering the whole drama, the disappointment, the problems that came from this specific thing. And now one day it's just poof, gone. And now it's obviously coming at a time where all the more experienced players and all the players who have played the game through the years just don't care for it. That we're not going to benefit from it, or, nothing is going to happen with it. And again, I am not upset with this news. Overall, it is a positive change for the game. It is better for newer and progressing players, which I think is important for a game this old to, keep making things better, easier, more streamlined for players that want to join the game. At the same time, though, there's that little thing at the back of your head that goes, "Oh, fuck's sake." I mean, realistically, I think the 4-star ban in Act 6 and Act 7 has served its purpose. It made the content a lot more difficult, thus it forced us to spend a lot more units to clear the content back when solo content was actually challenging. Because now, like Act 7 and Act 8, really, really easy, and we don't really get much challenging solo content, and the game has kind of changed course. There was a time when story content was virtually the hardest thing in the game, alongside with some challenges and other stuff. That time's really passed. Now the focus is, pretty much directly on battlegrounds and alliance for like quote unquote the hardest or most competitive things in the game. And we're not getting Gauntlet often. And Kabam made one great piece of content, which I believe is Grandmaster's Gauntlet, my all-time favorite piece of content. And at the time when that came out, it was hard. But that was already how many years ago, and they haven't made a follow-up to that. Much of Karina challenges is often just based around spending revive, so I don't really look at those as like, particularly hard and engaging piece of content. They're decent, they're good, they serve their purpose, but it doesn't compare with the teeth, the maliciousness that Act 6.2 had upon its release. So yeah, you understand that the game's changing, the years are passing by, they are focusing on different things, and again, I do think that it makes sense that Kabam actually made this decision, because I don't think it benefits them anymore in any aspect. I think they made their money from this restriction, and it's kind of pointless now, especially given the fact that they have already nerfed Act 6 to the ground, where most people probably don't use a ton of items anyways in it. And the whole item economy has shifted as well, where previously people actually used to spend items on health pots and revives. Now people just don't, because content is easier, and you can just farm or save up some revives and then go do a piece of content. I think it's very rare these days when people actually go and spend a ton of units on revives and stuff. So makes sense, right? Still that little bit. There is still that little bit that goes, oh, for fuck's sake. Now, there is one cool thing that I hope Kabam capitalizes here. And this is like the best case scenario. I think with removing this restriction and having Ascended Champions, Kabam could potentially make some banger Korean challenges. Like do 6.2 with 4 stars only, or this type of 4 stars or something. I think Kabam could make some absolutely amazing Korean challenges. Because that is, significantly easier content than it used to be upon its launch, especially given the fact that we have much bigger champion roster options. I still think it would be really fun, and I really do hope that Kabam pays notice to that. And this, I don't know whether that was intentional in their initial plan, or this is something that, potentially somebody could point out to them, in case nobody from Kabam watches this video, is that they have made a perfect setup for potentially the best Korean challenges yet. Because most of Korean challenges, they involve like, like Abyss ones, I suppose, are fine. The Labyrinth ones were an absolute fail. A ton of story content Korean challenges have always been the most fun. And I think with this restriction lifted, they can make really hard and really engaging and fun Korean challenges. What do you guys think? Bring in 4 stars to do 6.2 or something. Or bring in 4 stars to do some Act 7 lanes or something like that. Because, obviously block damage would be huge and stuff like that. But you'd have like a potentially very wide variety of champion selection. And it could be very, very fun. I would definitely like to give it a go. So here we are. I might actually go and try some Ascended 4 stars as well in Act 6 now, just, for the novelty of it, I guess. I'm gonna send some new... No, wait, can I send 4 stars? Or is there any point? I mean, there's no real point in ascending 5 stars anyway, so I might send some 4 stars just to bring them in. Act 6. I don't think I have a single Ascended 4 star, because they use the same dust as 5 stars. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting thought. Anyways, Let me know what you guys are thinking about this. It's again, I'm not upset about it, but it kind of pisses me off. It's like I'm not. I understand fully, logically, that this is a good and positive change for new players, but it still kind of irks me a little bit. There's that sting from the initial hurt many years ago. Anyways, I'll catch you guys soon. Bye bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information